Hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome back. We are covering the back nine of the first round of the FPO feature card of the 2022 River City Open. I'm Raven Klein.
And I'm Holyn Handley.
And don't forget, this is presented by Discraft and hosted by Great Lakes Discs.
Yeah, so after the front nine, we've got Alex Benson, Allie Smith sitting at even, Cynthia Ricciotti at 1 over par, and Stacie at 2 over par. All right, here we are, hole 10, par 3, 340 feet. Pretty good uphill, often having a headwind. So this is a pretty tough get today. We're going to see the ladies most likely going with something flippy, as there's a little bit of a low ceiling right off the tee.
It's nice to see a flat green. So I think they'll be excited.
Hopefully no rollaways. Here we get Cynthia throwing the flat release. A little short, but honestly when you got a headwind on a day like today, that's going to be pretty common. This is a tough get.
Alex looking smooth off the tee, able to push hers a little bit wider.
Yep. Lands nicely in the fairway. Allie Smith, nice and smooth. Also hyzer flip. Looks like that's fading a little early, but she should be just fine.
I feel like that sometimes happens when, especially when you're fighting wind, you almost over hyzer your hyzer flips, and then they just fly like something stable.
Yeah, and Stacie trying to get the distance, but ends up pulling it a little bit right. She'll have to pitch up for her par.
And leaves her upshot a little short as well.
Nice forehand approach. Cynthia close enough to give it a bid. Nah.
Short, but never upset about tapping that in.
Yeah, and on a day like today, this is going to play really far for the ladies. I only think there's a couple of people in the field who could realistically get a 2 here.
Alex not dealing with it.
Oh no.
That's the second one for Stacie.
Yeah, twice now, leaving her upshot a little short and then missing the putt.
Allie grabbing her par. Cynthia going to tap in a par.
And Stacie tapping in the bogey. Yeah, not the way you want to lose strokes on this course. All right, hole 11, par 3, downhill 336 feet. There is a double mando, so these two big trees you see on the right and left are a double mando. The drop zone's that short tee pad right there. This one can be tough because it's not very hard to get to, but there's often a crosswind on this hole, so some ladies will go for it and others will lay up. See, Cynthia's going for it.
It's definitely a distance that I know that these women can hit, but as soon as you add those two mando trees, it stresses you out in a different way.
Yeah, and those trees are staggered a little bit, and Cynthia knows that. That's why she went with the overstable fairway.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Same thing with Alex. They know they can aim it at that right mando tree, let it push, and then fade just behind the left mando tree. This is looking a little high from Allie. Although I don't think she missed the mando.
No, I think she just fell short. So she's going to have like a hyzer approach shot in. But she is still clear of the mando.
Stacie's drive's a little bit low, but she makes the mandos and she'll have a putt for 2.
Oh, so very close to missing the mando.
Yeah.
Wow.
They did have a painted line there to make it real easy to tell. But, ooh.
Well, she's still clear, so she'll have a long bid here, but...
Yeah, some tricky footing. Kind of hard to tell, but you really can't jump putt if you're in there. There's all these rocks.
Lumpy and rocks.
Yeah, not worth it.
Ooh.
Stacie just a little low.
Giving it a bid. They're all kind of around the same distance here.
Ooh. What's that roll?
Just catching the base weird.
Yeah,
there
Alex we go.
Getting that birdie.
There we go, Alex. Yep, Cynthia cleaning up her par. And Allie cleaning up her bogey.
For where she was, I feel like that.
I mean, it was effectively this. Yeah, I think that was a bogey. I don't think that graphic's right. But yeah, they got the second graphic right. That's a bogey.
Got the red square in there.
Yeah, Stacie got a par. They just flipped them. Anyway. Hole 12, another par 3, 380 feet. It's another blind hyzer. So you see this tree on the left. You're hoping to get about 60 to 80 feet if you really want to get the birdie. It's a tough one. Not a whole lot of women are going to be able to play this one for 2. Alex, that's a great line. She's got it moving right to get the distance.
That's probably one of my favorite shot shapes in the game, to get that further distance, and I just think it's so fun to watch the disc fly.
Yeah, and I mean, she's in, looks like she's in the circle putting for 2, so I stand corrected.
Wow, yeah. Cynthia, it looks like she was going for a similar shot shape, but threw it way too low. Or not way too low, but definitely low.
Yeah, Stacie looking a little high, but a great line. Yeah, I think she was looking for a little bit of a lower shot to get the distance. Allie needs this to turn. That's heading for that tree on the left side.
Yeah, so she either had a little bit more of a stable disc or should have put a little more Annie on it. Get that full flight.
Oof. Cynthia kind of giving it a bit of a run. Leaves herself long for her par comebacker. Allie going for the flick approach with that orange disc. Also leaving it a little bit long. Hard to tell, but it is pretty downhill for this approach.
Stacie's having a little bit of trouble today with her upshots, kind of hyzering out too early and leaving herself with these 20-footers.
Yeah, we'll see if she can redeem herself for the last couple of holes. Cynthia, ooh, little high.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
This basket just
It's...
isn't about it.
Hey! There she is.
There we go.
That's got to feel good, especially after having a couple of misfires.
Yeah, she'll get herself back on track there.
And taking a couple strokes on her card mates.
Yeah, Cynthia with the bogey.
Yep, Allie also taking a bogey. And then Alex tapping in for a par. Yep.
Yeah, pars definitely feel nice.
Yeah, on this part of the course, par feels good.
Great Lakes Disc, located in Grand Rapids, Michigan, is a fully stocked retail disc golf store that fulfills all of your disc golf needs. We carry all of the major manufacturers, accessories, and offer player and event sponsorship, along with tournament payout assistance. To learn more about Great Lakes Disc, visit greatlakesdisc.com.
All right, hole 13, another par 3, another kind of blind shot, this time throwing uphill 362 feet. So this bush on the left side is OB. And then we've got an elevated pin on this boulder.
That's a nice boulder.
It's a nice boulder.
Couldn't help it. Yeah, that bush with its location being OB, I mean, it's tough.
It's really tough because if you leave it a little nose up, you leave it a little high and a little short, you're going to find the OB. So Alex is short of the OB. She'll be able to pitch up for her 3.
And, you know, looking at the feather, hard to say from the video, it looks like there almost is a little bit of a right to left. Or it was.
There is, yes,
Okay.
a little bit of a right to left.
So yeah, you leave that too high and the wind grabs it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone looks like they're getting off the tee just fine. No one's really pushing the pin.
Yeah, it is quite uphill. It probably takes a good 400 plus feet of distance on pure hyzer to realistically get a look at the birdie.
Cynthia with a great layup, getting herself right under the boulder.
And Allie looks like she might have left that a little short. Let's see if Stacie can correct on her upshots. Also a little short.
Alex giving it a little more height, and that's what we're looking for. She nestles up right next to the boulder, and she'll have basically a tap-in.
Should be a nice, easy tailwind putt for Allie.
There we go. These two ended up being a little bit closer than it looked on camera, so that's nice.
Easy peasy. Good par saves.
There we go.
It's always awkward at that distance of like, do I putt it?
Wait,
do I lean forward and tap it in?
Yeah, so 2 pars there for Cynthia and Alex, and we'll move on to hole 14.
All right, hole 14, 461 foot par 3, very downhill, pretty hard to get. You have to flip something up into this gap and get it to push straight the entire way. It probably plays closer to 400, but still takes a pump to get there. Pump. We see Alex first. There should be a little bit of a headwind on this hole. As she sees it's turning over in that first set of trees.
Catches the branch there, but she gets dropped right back into the fairway.
Now this is looking good. If it can keep holding straight.
That's a nice correction after watching Alex's throw to keep it at the right height.
Yep, and she'll have an easy little hyzer approach shot from there. Cynthia going for a little bit more of a flex line. If that can stay up. That's hyzering toward the left side rough. That's going to be a tricky approach. She'll have to step out and do some kind of forehand.
Allie, that looks like good height, but she turns it over too much, and that just kind of crashes by the tree.
Ooh, that's not a fun lie.
Oh, wow. That was a nice shot, though.
Yeah, she's almost running the basket.
For where she was, that was a great upshot. Really getting, like, full torque on it.
Yeah, Alex from a similar distance, but without the obstruction, leaves it a little bit faded.
Just on the edge of the circle for Alex.
And Cynthia a little bit inside, but she'll have an opportunity to save her par. Stacie giving it a run.
She gets a lot of power out of her, like, straddle jumps.
Yeah, she really does. She puts a lot of spin on the disc. Oh, Alex just a little low for her par save.
Allie making good on her par.
As does Cynthia.
Stacie grabs a par as well.
It's another hole where you're fine with a par. Honestly, I don't think anyone birdied it in this first round.
I mean, with the wind off the tee and that downhill, I would believe that.
Yeah. Hole 15, par 3, 325 feet. Big turnover shot or possible flip up forehand if you got it. But you're looking to get something out of the gap, high and turning, and into this little cutout in the trees. Now, if you're a little bit early right, it's almost a guaranteed four. It's a very hard par save, so some ladies may be just trying to throw it straight and let it fade out and give themselves a long look. As we see Stacie fading out toward that long grass, but that should be a very easy up and down for par.
On holes like this, when you kind of get that early jail, well, I do like this line.
That looks great.
That turnover. That's beautiful from Cynthia.
And she's in the circle.
So,
pretty perfect.
I really can't draw that one up better, but I like the straight play that lines you up with a gap versus risking that early right side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you give yourself a low chance, but a chance at a 2 if you want it, and a pretty guaranteed 3.
Exactly.
Alex, this looks a little too high. It's not turning enough, but no harm done. She'll just fade out and have an easy approach. Now she's actually giving it a bit of a run. Okay. Okay, Alex. And Allie was pinched a little bit, but she's got a great sidearm approach. And what was that ground action?
Looks like she caught the base of the tree, so her approach actually was, she kind of pumped it a little bit too much, and I would say she got saved by the tree.
Stacie giving it a run from deep.
Cynthia going for that birdie.
Nice.
That's a great putt from Cynthia.
Slides it in on that left pocket. Alex,
there we go, Alex.
Makes good on the par putt. Always say it's okay to run an aggressive birdie putt as long as you make a comebacker.
Exactly. Stacie making good on her par after catching the top of the basket on her deep bid.
Yeah, very well played on this hole by this card. Hole 16, par 3, 356 feet. You want to flip something up out of this gap and just have it hold really straight. Another one where the distance is pretty tricky. The distance and the shape. Let's see what these ladies can do.
I love a good hit the gap off the tee.
Yeah. Cynthia hits the gap. This is drifting to the right.
Comes back into the fairway nicely, but it's going to be a tough distance for her to really have a look at too.
Yeah. Stacie electing to go more of the hyzer flip line, but doesn't get it flipped up to flat enough. She hyzers out early.
From the catch cam angle, you can kind of see how uphill it is. Or it appears a little bit more uphill.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of a left to right wind as well, so if it gets turning too much, you can end up in a really tough spot. Alex, this looks like a great line, also just a little bit short.
Stacie giving it a bid for 2, but leaving that left and short. She should be fine on that putt.
Cynthia. Ooh, good bid. Just a little bit low.
She has been all over the basket today, so hope she feels at least good about that.
Yeah, if she's all over the basket today, good chance she'll make some tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And Allie, not feeling that, just lays it up.
Good par there from Alex.
And from Stacie.
Not that anyone ever likes missing putts, but I'd much rather hit metal.
Hit metal and stay close.
Nothing like an air ball. Oof.
Yeah. More mental than anything.
Definitely. And just a couple more pars there for Allie and Cynthia.
Easy pars on the card. So hole 17 got another par 4. This road on the left side does play OB, and there is an OB line on the right side. So you're looking to throw either a sidearm or some kind of turnover. Just landed in bounds and set up for the second shot, where you've got a bit of a tight green. The OB does start to encroach on that left side the closer you get, and then there is rough on the right.
Cynthia on the box first, going with the backhand, and I mean, that looks like a beautiful flight from her.
Yep, checks up just before the OB. If you can make it past that short pad, you've got a good possible birdie look. And Stacie, that looks a little low. But, nope, it's fine. Totally fine. Yeah.
Allie's leaving her a little high. Oh, wow, okay. It was a little less stable than I thought it was.
Yeah, she knows the stability of her disc a little better. Now, if you end up on the right side of those fairway trees, you have a nice hyzer into the green. So if you're a backhand dominant player, you really do want to push that right side. As we see
All 4 of
Alex
these
do.
players definitely playing it safe from the road.
Yep, Cynthia taking that right side backhand line. Just needs this to check up before the rough.
That was great.
Yeah, she's got a long birdie look.
Allie following suit, similar line, but she's got, looks like a little more height. Yep.
She'll also have about a 45-footer. Ooh, this looks like it might need to find ground. Might bring that left side OB into play a little bit.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
She's
very
fine.
close.
She's fine.
There isn't nearly as much ground play on the back 9 as there are, or as there is on the front 9 with all that dirt and gravel.
Yeah, once we got out into the open, definitely a lot grabbier grass. Cynthia for birdie.
Yes! Oh, that was a beautiful putt.
I mean, that's got to be from edge of circle 2, just about 55, 60 feet.
At least by the tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Behind the tree.
That's a great putt.
Great job, Cynthia. Allie giving it a bid. High and a little more roll away. But
Yep, Stacie, the downhill putt fades it out a little bit too early.
and Alex makes good on her birdie.
I mean, that's a tough birdie. It's really hard to trust your disc out over the left side OB, knowing that you also have right side OB. So to get enough distance off the tee shot and set yourself up, it takes a really skilled shot.
Yep. Allie and Stacie grabbing pars.
All right, hole 18, par 5, 786 feet. This one is threeable for some of the bigger arms in the field. Note there's this bush that we're just passing on the left side, and then another bush on the left side. Both play as OB, so you want to make sure you get plenty of distance off the tee or lay up short so you don't end up in one of those two bushes. And then we've got the OB parking lot and driveway and an OB sidewalk long to avoid on the final approach.
I don't know why, but I've always appreciated the final greens, and as the OB just kind of like gets closer and it comes to a point, it just adds that nice, I don't know, pressure.
Yeah, it adds some
Really.
drama. And Cynthia with a smash, but she's a little bit on that right side. The birdie's still in play, but probably not going for any eagles today. And Alex catches
catching a tiny tree.
the little tree, but also these players leaving it out on the right side because they don't want to mess with that OB bush.
Would you say that the right side, though, still plays as a fairly easy approach as far as your angles?
I mean, it depends on your preferred shot. If you want to go with a backhand final approach into the green, you definitely want to be on the right side. There is a sidearm gap if you end up further left, but most of these players are going to be trying to get right so they have that backhand option.
Gotcha. Allie left hers a little bit low, and she was probably going to go into the tall grass a little more, but she caught the tiny tree that was on the edge.
Yeah, that was a great shot by Alex. She's in a great position to get up and down for birdie.
Right by that little tree.
That looked a little high and nose up, but she should be fine right there.
So I'm glad that one sat down.
And Cynthia
Looks like it came out more than I thought, but she turned her wrist a little bit more than she probably wanted to.
Yeah, that should be fine as well, though. And Stacie getting aggressive,
I
possibly
love it.
trying to get an
Come
eagle
on.
look.
Sit.
Oh, sit down, sit down.
Yeah, there we go. I love
Okay.
seeing that.
I don't think she's quite far enough to get to putt for the 3, but she should have a very easy 4 from there.
Nice safe shot there from Allie, just getting herself further up the fairway.
Yep. Cynthia is going for the green here. Great hyzer, just needs to check up. Yeah.
Great shot, Cynthia.
Perfectly played. Alex close enough to just go stand still. And she leaves it a little short.
I feel like that happens a lot more often on this hole because you really don't want to lose, frankly, a dumb stroke to just, overshoot and go OB.
For sure. That looked like a pretty good approach from Stacie. And Allie lays it up for her. Will this be her par?
I believe so.
It's hard to count that high for that many people.
Hard to tell. I feel like Alex was going for that, but it seemed almost a little bit rushed out of her hand.
Yeah, sometimes when you know there's OB back there, it can be hard to get your body to follow what your brain wants to do.
Yeah. And Stacie and Cynthia both grabbing birdies on hole 18. That's great.
Yeah, what a great finish from both of them. Allie scurrying up there to tap in her par.
It was her par.
It was her par.
Go.
I can count.
Math.
This just in.
And Alex wanted that birdie, but par is not bad.
Yeah, and she's finishing under par for the day.
And that concludes the first round of the River City Open. So after 18 holes, we've got Cynthia and Alex Benson sitting at 1 under and Stacie and Allie finishing at 2 over. But if we take a look over here on our leaders, I see a familiar name.
Yeah, we've got Maria Oliva sitting in first place at 3 down. Lisa Fakis and yours truly sitting at 2 down, and then Cynthia will be back Alex will be back on the card tomorrow at 1 down.
All right, thank you so much for watching our round 1 coverage, and we'll see you for round 2.